Hi guys, this is GCSE Maths paper, Eduqas November 21, paper 2. This is a calculator paper and this is foundation tier. So the exam is 2 hours and 15 minutes. So you got 120 marks in this paper. To get grade 4, you need roughly to get half of the paper right. Okay, question 1. Complete each sentence with one of the words. So this is a birthday. It is certain, of course, that you had a birthday in 2016. So certain is 100%. So I'm going to use the word certain here. And in B, it will rain somewhere in the UK in November. It's likely it's going to rain, so we're going to use the word likely here. And the next one, Pretty rolls a six-sided dice once. She wants to roll. She rolls 4, so that's a chance of 1 out of 6. So we're going to use the word unlikely. Question 2. So we got Jordan and Lucy are shopping for food. Jordan buys 0.5 kilograms of cheese, 300 grams of grapes, and 4 bread rolls. How much does Jordan pay? Okay, let's divide 1080 by 2 to get half kilo. That costs £5.40. And 300 grams, we're going to multiply the price we see by 3. And that will give us £1.92. And then we also buy Jordan buys 4 bread rolls, so we're going to multiply 49. Let's change it into the pound format by 4. 0.49 times 4 will give you 196. So we need to find the total here, which means we're adding them all up. So this is a calculator paper, so make sure you put the numbers right. And the total is £9.28. Okay, Lucy buys 0.25 kilograms of cheese and 400 grams of grapes. Okay, so we either can multiply the price for cheese by 0.25, or we can divide the price for cheese by 4, because that's the same as 0.25, a quarter. Yeah, we're finding a quarter here. Okay, in either case, that will give us £2.70. Okay, and then we're gonna work out the price for 400 grams of grapes. So multiply the price by 4, because the price for per 100 grams, and that gives you 2.56. And we're finding the total by adding these two prices together, and that will give us £5.26. Okay, so we need to do one more step here. Need to find the change from £10. So that means we're taking away 10 minus 5.26 will give us £4.74. Okay, question 3. We need to work out that big reflex angle x. So we know that all angles around the point add up to 360 degrees. Let's create a circle. So to find angle x, we're gonna subtract these two angles we see in the picture from 360 degrees. And the answer is 233 degrees. In the next question, we need to work out angle y. So we know all angles in a triangle add up to 100 and we'll put 360, 180 degrees, of course. So if we take these two angles we see in the picture from 180, that will give us the answer for angle y. Okay, great. So question 4, 1 centimeter grid, we need to draw a rectangle with the area 24 centimeters squared. So we know to find the area of the rectangle, we multiply length by width. So let's think of two numbers which multiply give you 24. There are a few options in here. So I'm just going to go for 3 times 8. So let's just do 3 times 8. Or we can go for 4 times 6. Or we can go for 1 times 24 or 2 times 12. There are a few options in here. So I'm going to go for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 times 6. So I'm going to draw a rectangle. You use the ruler for the in exam. And 4 by 6, and this has the area of 24 centimeters squared. So next we need to find the perimeter of this shape, and perimeter we know it is the total length all around the shape. So let's just write the missing numbers on the other two sides, which are the same as the opposite ones, and add them all up, and we will get 20 centimeters. Okay, next question. We need to, we've got a sketch of a triangle ABC. One side is 8 centimeters, the other side is 6.4 centimeters. Then there is one angle at 75 degrees. So we need to use a ruler and protractor and do the accurate drawing of this triangle. Okay, so I've done it here. So watching the picture, I draw the line first, which is 8 centimeters long. Then I put the protractor, the center of the protractor on the one end of the angle. Okay, then I got the ruler and I measure that line at 6.4 centimeters long, and then I just join these two other sides together. So here you go, that's my triangle ABC. So question 5. Paul always travels to and from work by bus, and each day he buys the return ticket costing $11.25. And we also got in the table, we've got two types of tickets: day travel, day ticket $8.35 and a weekly ticket $30.50. So how much would he pay by save by buying a day ticket? So I just underline two prices, just take away one from the other to find how much you would save, and that is £2.90. Okay, in part B, we need to find how much would Paul save each week by buying a weekly ticket. So he works 5 days a week. So 11.25 times by 5, that will give us the cost for if he buys a return ticket daily. And the weekly tickets cost $30.50. So we just subtract one from the other. And that will give us how much money he will save. So he will save £25.75. So next week Paul will be working only for 3 days, and what is the cheapest way he can get to work next week and how much it will cost. So we're gonna multiply $8.35 daily ticket by 3. That will give us $25.05. That is day ticket, and compared to each day return is $11.25. So that is the cheapest, of course. So he will pay £25.05. Question 6. Ali and Beth have fewer than 12 marbles each. Ali says to Beth, if you had 2 less, we would have the same number of marbles, but if you had 6 less, I would have double the number of marbles you have. So you can use here algebraic method, or you can use trial and error here. So I'm just showing you how to use trial and error. Let's just say Ali's got 10 marbles and Beth will have 2 more. So that's 12. Okay, and the other option could be like Ali has 9 marbles and Beth has 11, 8 and 10, 7 and 9. And we're just gonna check if which option is suitable. If Beth had less marbles, Ali should have a double. Okay, let's check away 12 minus 6 is 6, but 6 is not, Ali, 10 is not double of 6, so that's not suitable. And we can try the next example, which is 9 and 11. So 11 minus 6 will give you 5. Okay, but 9 is not double of 5. And let's try 8 and 10. So 10 minus 6 give you 4 and 8. So that is suitable. So it doesn't take that long. And so we've got the answer here. Ali's got 8 marbles and Beth has 10 marbles. Okay, question 7. We've got a few algebraic expressions and formulas. So W times W, of course, give you W squared. And 7x minus 4 plus x plus 3, we're just going to add x's together. They are like terms. Just add the numbers at the front. 7x plus x, 8x, and numbers minus 4 plus 3 give you minus 1. So that's an expression, 8x minus 1. So here we do substitution to find v. Let's put the numbers for k and x, and that is, you're dividing there, of course, 2.25. And find the value of k when v is 12. Let's put the numbers instead of the letters into the formula. 12 equals, so the k over x. So k we don't know, and x is 26 there. I would probably swap the sides around, so I would put k over 26 equals 12, and then you can see, so something divided by 26 give you 12. So to find that number, we need to multiply 12 by 26. So use the calculator and you will see that is 312. So do check your answer. Always check your algebra, but normal way. So 312 divided by 26 does give you 12. Question 8. Thomas and Ada are making models, and Thomas is making a model car using the ratio 1 to 18. So this ratio, when it's written with two dots, means of 1 centimeter on the scale, you get 18 centimeters in real life. So second number 18 is actually a scale factor and tells you that you multiply by 18 to get the real size. Or if you want to scale down from actual to the paper measurement, you divide by 18. So here we need to scale up, so we multiply by 18. 2.8 times by 18, that gives us 50.4 centimeters. So the next part asks you to actually scale down. So the actual size of the car is 1.553 meters. We're going to divide this time by 18, but we have meters. So we need to change meters into centimeters because our scale 1 to 18, they're both in centimeters. So that give you 153 centimeters divided by not 1,530. So that number is wrong. Conversion is wrong. So 1.53 is actually 153 centimeters. And that for that reason, the answer is also wrong. So the answer should be 8.5 centimeters. Okay, next part, Ada makes a model boat and then she paints her model, and it takes her twice as long to make her model as it does to paint it. So that's going to be ratio 2 to 1. And the final part, Ada takes a total of 114 hours to make and paint her model. So 2 to 1, so we're going to add the parts. 2 plus 1 is 3 parts. And we need to find, or we can change this 2 and 1 into ratio, 2/3 and 1/3. So we need to find a number of hours it takes Ada to make the model. So in other words, we're finding 2/3 over 114. That means 114 divided by 3, and then multiply the answer by 2. Okay, that will give you 76 hours to make a model. Question 9 is on a straight line graph, so linear graphs. The table shows some of the values of y equals x plus 5 from -3 up to 3. So we've got two gaps in the table. We need to work out the numbers. Just substitute x by the number for x, y for the number x. So that's, we're going to do positive number first. 1 plus 5 is 6, so put 6 in there. And you can see the pattern, so your numbers go up by 2 for y. Okay, so we're going to plot these numbers now, x and the top number, x is the bottom number is y. We're going to plot them as coordinates on the graph. So x first and then y. Number for x, mark it, and then number for y, and then put the cross. Okay, so you should make all these crosses, they should appear in a pattern, and you should be able to draw the straight line through them. If it's not a straight line, it means you made a mistake somewhere. So these equations always create a straight line. That's why they're called straight line graphs. Okay, so we've just done it. So make sure you don't just plot them, coordinates, but you also draw the line through them. So of course, use the ruler when you do it. Okay, right, so what are we doing next here? So it says write down the coordinates of a y-intercept of the line y equals xy. So this is the equation of the straight line y equals xy. The general way of writing is y equals ax plus c. So when a is the number, we call it gradient, and the c is the y-intercept. It shows when your line crosses the y-axis. So we can see number for c is 5. We can see it from the equation, but we can also see graphically that the line crosses y-axis at 0.5. So we just need to put those coordinates for that point, which is 0 and 5. Okay, draw the graph x equals 2. So the short equations like this, x equals 2, it will be just horizontal line without a slope, which passes through number 2 on the x-axis, like that. Okay, that is x equals 2 graph. And we need to write down the coordinates when these two lines on the graph cross. So we can see they cross right at that point when I put the dot, and we just need to write the coordinates for that. That is 2 and 7. So 2 and 7. Okay, question 10. So we got the price of 1 liter of petrol sold at Podmore filling station, and it's made over like 3 numbers there. So 5% is a profit, production delivery is 26%, and 69% are shown as taxes. So the price of 1 liter of petrol is 118 pence, and we need to find the exact amount which is paid for taxes. So taxes are 69%. So we're finding 69% over 118 pence. Just in a calculate exam, multiplied by 118. You can change percentage into decimal, 0.69 times by 118, or just use the percentage sign. So the answer in any case will be 81.42 pence. So don't round your answer, you keep the exact number you see on the calculator. Okay, next part. Mr. and Mrs. Joshi are refueling their cars at Jimson's filling station. 1 litre of diesel cost £1.35. So Mr. Joshi puts 51 litres of diesel in the car, but Mrs. Joshi uses petrol, 48 litres of petrol. She puts 48 litres of petrol. The total cost for both of them is £130.29. We need to find the cost of 1 litre of petrol. Okay, so we know Mr. Joshi puts 51 litres and 1 litre of diesel costs £1.35. Let's multiply and get the total cost for diesel for Mr. Joshi, £68.85. Okay, that's the price for the diesel for 51 litres. And we also know the total cost is £130.29. Let's subtract that, and we'll be left with the money which was paid for 48 litres of petrol. So the question asks you to find price per 1 litre. So we're just going to divide 61.44 by 48 litres, and that will give you the price per 1 litre, which is £1.28. Okay, question 11 is on Best Buy. So I've got 3 bottles of shampoo. They are different sizes, they've got different prices, and we need to find the Best Buy, which size is basically size of bottle offers the best value for money. So we're going to find the price per 100 litres in each. Okay, so we're going to divide the first by 4, the price and the amount, that gives you 100 litres. And the second we're going to divide by 7, and the last shampoo price and the amount we're going to divide by 9. Okay, that will give us price per 100 litres for each. Okay, that's the smallest shampoo bottle, 43 pence 5. And the middle one will cost 43 pence. And the biggest one will cost 44 pence. Okay, so you can see the cheapest one will be the middle one, 43 pence per 100 mils. So that is the middle one. Okay, so we're going to take that one as the cheapest. Okay, question 12. Sandy grows fruit to sell from her market hall. So we're going to look at this graph. So we've got numbers of blackcurrant in a basket going across, and then the vertical axis shows frequency, how many baskets there that go up by 10. Okay, just examine your graph so you know what these two axis labels stand for. So how many baskets of blackcurrant did Sandy sell last week? So this basically all 4 lines, this is what she sold last week. We just need to find the value for them, for each line, and add up together, and that will be the total baskets she sold. Okay, so you can see that mid number will be 25. That's going to be 27, 2 more up. There's just one little down from 40, 39, 42, and 15. So let's add them all up. And that will give us the total number of baskets sold last week, 123 baskets. And next, what fraction of the baskets of blackcurrant Sandy sold last week contained more than 269 blackcurrants in a basket? Okay, so that is 269. We need to go for more than that. Okay, we're just going to go for the other two numbers, which is 270 and 271, and add those numbers. Numbers on the top, 42 and 15. That's actually not number of baskets, number of blackcurrant in a basket. So let's add them together. That'll give you 57. We need to write it as a fraction. So the total number of blackcurrant is baskets were 123. So the fraction of the baskets is 57 over 123. Sandy sells her raspberries in boxes. The frequency table shows the number of raspberries in 130 boxes. So we will need this number later. So there are 2 columns. The first number shows numbers of raspberries, and second shows how many of them we have, how many boxes are there. So we know there are 130 altogether. So first we're finding the range. Range is highest number minus lowest. So we're just going to go for the highest number of raspberries in the box, 50, and the lowest 45, and take away, so that's 5. Then we're finding the median. So median from the table, we always divide the total number of boxes, like here 130 divided by 2. So we need to find the 65th box. Start counting from the top. Look at the frequency column, 7 plus 24, 31, 31 plus 35. So your 65th box will be under that frequency, and just go across and look at number of raspberries. So 47. That's like a mid number. So 47 raspberries will be the mid number. So calculate the mean of raspberries in a box. So in the mean, when we add up and divide by how many, so we need to find the total of raspberries first. We know how many boxes we have, 130. That goes to the bottom denominator. But for the total of raspberries, we're going to do like 2 steps in here. So multiply each number across like I do on the screen. It's 45 times 7, because there are 7 boxes with 45 raspberries each. Then 24 boxes with 46 raspberries each. So find the little subtotals first. Okay, then add all these numbers up. That will give you 6,172. Oh, I lost the page here. Where is it? Okay, right here. And so 1,000. Yeah, so that is total. So 6,000, 1,072. And then just divide by 130. And that will give you 47.4 point something. So your number should be anything between 45 and 50. So 47.5 looks like a answer makes sense. So that is the mean number. So we added all the raspberries and divided by the number of boxes here. Right, next part asks you to find the modal number of raspberries in a box, and it says it's more than the mean number. Okay, we need to find the modal number. The modal number is the number you see most, yeah, like mode. So in the table, we just need to look at the highest number. Look on the frequency column. The highest number is 37, and go across to find the number of raspberries for that. So that is 48 raspberries. So 37 boxes will have 48 raspberries in each box. So that is the most frequent number. This is a model number, 48. And you can see 48 model is bigger than the mean, which we found in the previous part, which was 47.5. So yes, she is correct. Question 13. So we've got a table here with some missing numbers for percentages, for angles, and John wants to draw a pie chart to show the leisure activities. Okay, this shows all the activities for the last week, percentages missing, and there's some angles missing. So John spent 2 hours playing football last week. Okay, so first, what do we know about angles? All angles should add up to 360 degrees in a pie chart. All percentages should add up to 100%. So let's just use this 2 hours. So 2 hours, we can see 5% there. Yeah, we can use this number. So if 5% represents 2 hours, so to find the total number, that means we need to find 100% of the activities. So we just need to look at the increase from 5 to 100. That's actually 20 times more. And do the same for the number of hours. 2 times 20 will give you 40. That is 40 hours for all the activities. Then we need to write complete the percentages column. So you know all percentages should add up to 100. If you just subtract all the numbers you see from 100, you will see you are left with 15, and that is the missing number there, 15%. Okay, we need to complete the angle column. So we can't really add them up and take away from 360 because 2 numbers are missing. So, but we know how to change percentages into the angle. So multiply each percentage by 360, and that will give you the number in angles. Okay, so you can maybe do the ones which is already given just to double check your method is right. So you can see actually, yes, 28% times by 360 give you 101. You should do like a little bit of rounding there. Yes, that means it works. Yes, and you know you're going to do the same for the other two. So 43% times by 360 will give you 155, and 15% times by 360 will give you 54. Just double check, see all your angles add up to 360, and they do. Okay, now next what you're doing, you need to complete the pie chart for the 2 missing values, which is we just completed as gym and PC games. So we need to show 2 angles on it, 155 degrees and 54 degrees. I would probably just start drawing angle 54, so use protractor, and then whatever is left will be your remaining angle. Okay, so your protractor should look like that. Okay, center should be placed in the middle of the circle. Okay, and align the line with the side of the the protractor, and measure the angle you need. Okay, so it looks a bit messy here, but you're gonna measure. So put the protractor's middle in the middle center of the circle. Okay, and align part side of it with that. So this is your angle for PC games. So no need to measure the other angle because that's the only one which is left, and that is your gym. Okay, so part B, Ricky draws a pie chart to show the leisure activities for the same week. So we got like activities, as you see, friends, theater, other hiking, and 45 degrees shows golf. We also know he spent 6 hours playing golf. So we know 6 hours shows 45 degrees. If we want to work out all the hours, how many total hours he spends, we need to find degrees for 360, number for 360 degrees. So how many hours that is 360 degrees? Because that represents the total activities. So let's just find out the multiply them. The multiply going to be 8. So do the same for number of hours. 6 times 8 will give you 48 hours. Okay, now we just need to compare John's and Ricky's. So Ricky spends 48 hours. Let's go back and see how many hours. Okay, and then John spends 40 hours. And of course, we're going to put a tick Ricky because Ricky spends 48 hours compared to John's 40 hours. Okay, question 14. Omar used the following recipe to make a drink to sell at a school fete. For each glass of drink, he uses the juice of one orange. Then he uses 1/8 the juice of a grapefruit, and then enough lemonade to fill the glass to 300 ml. Okay, so he uses 3 ingredients to make a drink. So for each glass, he uses 68 ml of juice from one orange, then 232 ml of juice from each grapefruit, but only 1/8 of it. Remember, 1/8 of that grapefruit he uses, and he also and the rest will be lemonade. Okay, so we're gonna. I think the first thing we're gonna work up is 1/8 of grapefruit amount. 1 grapefruit, so 1/8 of 232 ml of juice. So we just divide by 8. That's what 1/8 means. That gives you 29 ml of grapefruit per 1 glass. So 1 glass will need 68 ml of orange, 1/8 we just found, 29 ml of grapefruit, and the rest will be lemonade. So we're gonna take away these two values from 300. That will leave us with 203 ml of lemonade. So all these 3 added gives you 300 ml. So we need to find out how many bottles of lemonade did Omar need to open. So he made 72 glasses. So we're going to multiply 203 by 72. That will give you the total amount of lemonade used, which is 14,616 ml. So we're going to change that amount into liters because we got liters there, 2 liters. So that one, 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. So we're going to divide that amount by 1,000 to change into the liters. So that will give you 14.616 liters. Okay, but we also know he used the bottles with 2 liters each. So we're going to divide that by 2 to find the number of bottles. So that gives us a decimal number, 7 point something. So that means bottles. So obviously we have to go up in this amount and not down. So we're going to go for 8 bottles. Why we're going for 8, not for 7? Because that will be enough. 8 bottles. You need 8 bottles to make that amount. 7 will be not enough. So 8 bottles. So Ali, all the lemonade was donated, so cost Omar nothing. He only paid for the fruit that he used. So oranges cost £1.08 for a bag of 6, and the grapefruit cost 56p each. So we tried use the same units here. Either change that into pounds or change that in £1.808 into 108 pence. Okay, so 1 glass. 1 orange will cost him 18 pence. We just divide 108 by 6. And he only needs 1/8 of the grapefruit. So I'm going to divide 56 by 8 to find the price per 1/8 of the grapefruit per glass. £7p, add them up, so that's 25p. So lemonade didn't cost him anything, we're not adding that. And so that means each glass you sold cost him 25p, but he added 60% profit to it. So we're going to find 60% of 25. Just multiply by percentage. That will give you 15p. Or you can multiply 0.6 by 25, that's the same. So we're going to add that 15p profit to the price, 25p plus 15p, 40p. So this is what answers the question, what was the selling price of each glass? So 40p per glass. Question 15. The diagram shows a vegetable plot in the shape of a trapezium. So we've got trapezium with 4 measurements on it. Then it cost £1.35 per meter squared to treat the plot with fertilizer. Show it costs less than £14 to treat the plot with fertilizer. So this is area question because you finding the space inside the shape. And so the area formula will be given to you. Look in the additional formula sheet, and that is half over a plus b times by height. So a and b will be your top and the bottom sides in the trapezium, parallel sides. So put the numbers instead of the a and b, 3.9 and 4.6, add them, divide by 2, half, and then times by 2.4. Depending what calculator you have, you can put the whole calculation in there, or you can do step by step, like a bid mass order. And whatever you got, you multiply it by the price, 1.335 pence, times by the area, 10.2, and that will give you 13.77, which is less than 14. That's what the question asks. Should it be less than £14? Okay, question 16. The speed of a boat is measured in knots. So we have 2 conversions here. 1 knot is 1.852 kilometers per hour, and 0.625 meters per hour equals 1 kilometers per hour. So a search and rescue team had a speedboat and a jet ski. Both vehicles set off from the same boat house at the same time to rescue a sailor, and they travel at different speed. There are different units for each. We need to find out which one got to the rescue faster, and also how many kilometers did that vehicle travel. So speedboat is 50 knots. We're going to change both of these measurements into kilometers per hour. So to change a 50 knot per kilometers per hour, we multiply 50 by 1.852. So when you're converting from one unit to the other, you multiply by that other unit. So we're multiplying here 1.852. That will give you 92.6 kilometers per hour. And we're going to do jet ski the same. We're going to change 0.625 into kilometers per hour as well. So this time we're changing into kilometers per hour. We're going to divide by 0.625. So 65 miles per hour, we're going to divide by 0.625, and that will give us 104 kilometers per hour. So from one unit into the other, you multiply by the second number, but the other way around, you divide by the other number, which is not 1. Okay, so jet ski was faster because it travels at 104 kilometers per hour. So we need to find now the distance it traveled after 15 minutes. So if it, for jet ski, it took 104 kilometers to travel like 1 hour, because that's what speed is per 1 hour. So for 15 minutes, it's going to be 4 times less, because 1 hour's got 60 minutes. So 60 divided by 4 give you 15 minutes. Okay, do the same with the distance, and that will divide by 4, and that will give you 26 kilometers in 15 minutes. So rescue vehicle was jet ski, and then it traveled 26 kilometers. Question 17. You need to solve an equation with 2 unknowns. So 6a minus x minus 1 equals 5 plus x. So you need to subtract the smaller x from both sides, which is x. Okay, simplify this equation, and you get 5x minus 1 equals 5. And then just apply reverse calculations and find x. So 5 plus 1, 6, and then 6 divided by 5 will give you x. 6 over 5, you can keep it as a fraction, or divide 6 by 5, that is 1.2. Okay, next part is on expressions. So Abby takes x seconds to solve the puzzle. Ben takes 5 seconds more, so we're going to put that x plus 5 for Ben. And Cherie takes twice as long as Ben, so we're going to multiply that x plus 5 by 2. Both numbers should be multiplied by 2, so 2x plus 10. And Cherie takes 116 seconds to solve the puzzle. Okay, let's take Cherie's expression and equal it to 116 pounds, 8 pounds seconds. And we've got a nice equation here. We can now apply reverse calculations and work out x, which is Abby, isn't it? Abby is x. That will answer the question. So I go 53 seconds. X equals 53, and x was expression for Abby. So Abby takes 53 seconds to complete the puzzle. Question 18. Tony's grandfather buys a gold coin for her on the day she is born. The coin costs £130. The value of the coin is expected to increase by 6% each year. So this is compound interest because it goes up by 6% every year. And 10th birthday, the number of years is 10. So let's just use the formula for the compound interest. So 130 is your principal amount. You multiply it by the rate or increase. We got 6%. We're going to add 100 to it, 106. It becomes 1.06 as a decimal. So, and then number of years go in a power. Okay, put that in the calculator. Use the XY button. And that will give you £232.81. So round your number to 2 decimal places for pence. Question 19. The circumference of the circle is 40.841 centimeters. Find the area of the circle. So we're going to write these two formulas which are given to you. Just check them in a additional formula sheet. So circumference is pi times diameter, but for the area you do pi times radius squared. So what we don't have is diameter or radius. So we're just going to write what we have. So pi times diameter multiply give you 40.841. So we don't know diameter, but we know pi. That's just the button on the calculator we're going to use. And we're going to divide by pi and round our answer to, so that will give us 40.841 divided by pi. That will give you 13 rounded to the whole number. So that is diameter. So radius is going to be half of it. So radius will be 6.5. So now use the second formula for the area, and instead of r, we're going to put 6.5. So pi times 6.5 squared. And that will give you 132.7. So we can round to 1 decimal place. 132.7 centimeters squared, which is found the area. Question 20. A tram company sells all-day tickets. 1 adult tickets and 4 child tickets cost £16.30. 2 adult tickets and 3 child tickets cost £19.10. So we're going to use algebraic method and find the cost for 3 adult tickets and 1 child. We're going to use simultaneous equations here. So adult going to be A and child tickets going to be C. They just write them. So we're adding them because it's a total cost for each. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to double each value in the first equation times each term by 2. That will turn the first equation into 2a plus 8c and double the price as well. 32.30. Why we're doing 32.60? Why we're doing it? Because we will be taking now one equation from the other, subtracting, and that will eliminate a. Okay, now we're just left with c, so that's 5c, and prices, we subtract them too, we get £13.50. So now to find 1 child ticket, we're just going to divide that price by 5, and here we've got 1 child ticket. Once we've got child ticket, we're going to use either the first or second equation and substitute 2.70 into c. So let's use the first one. 1 adult plus 4 child. So instead of c, child, we're going to put 270 times by 4. Okay, and then we'll work out a from here. So a will be 1630 minus 1080, which is £5.50. Okay, so we've got 1 child ticket cost $270 and 1 adult ticket cost $5.50. And now we can answer the question. So 3 adult tickets will cost 3 times $5.50. 16.50, and one child ticket cost 2.70. Add these two numbers together on a calculator and that you will get £19.20. That is a total cost for 3 adults and 1 child. Question 21. So you've got the right angle triangle and two sides are given. The angle is unknown. So we can use trigonometry here, because trigonometry helps you to work out either sides or angles in a right angle triangle. So we can't use Pythagoras here because we need to find angle. In Pythagoras, we're only working out like one side if the other two given. But here we have two sides, but we need to find the angle. So that means we're using SOHCAHTOA, which is just the way to remember 3 formulas, sin, cos, and tan. Let's label the sides. So angle there, the next to it will be adjacent. We have opposite angle and we have hypotenuse. So we don't need to find A, so we are interested in O and H. So the first formula, S or H, we need to use. This is sin formula. Sin of X equals O divided by H. So when you work out angles, we have to use the shift key. So press the shift key on your calculator. Then press sin. And then put these two numbers in brackets, 0.5 over or divide by 6 if you don't have fraction option there. So divide by 6 and that will give you 4.78 and so on. So we just round to one decimal place, 4.8 degrees. Okay, so it says for the design to be approved, it should be not more than 4.8, which is suitable. So because we got just under 4.8 degrees. There. Okay, so here we have triangular prism, and we need to find, so this is a ramp in the shape of triangular prism, so we need to find how many cubic meters of concrete will need to be removed. So this ramp was not approved, we have to remove that. So we need to see what is the volume basically of this prism. This ramp needs to be removed. Okay, so the volume of the prism, the formula will be given, this area of the cross-section times by the length. So you need to identify correctly these measurements on your shape. So area of the cross-section, what I just shaded, that is a triangle. And to find the area of that triangle, we're going to do base times height divided by 2. And the length will be that measurement which shows 2.5 centimeters. But if you look at the area of a triangle, we don't really have bases in it. How can we work out the side, the base? So we know the base looks like a right angle triangle. This is one we can use Pythagoras because two sides are given, but we don't know that one of the shorter sides. So hypotenuse is given 1.8 and one side. So we're going to square each side, but we're not adding them, we're taking it away. So, and then we will square root the answer. So we can put the whole thing in one go. If you have a Casio calculator, square root 1.8 squared minus 0.6 squared, and you will have 1.7 meters rounded for the area of the triangle. And then you multiply that by put in the formula for the area of a triangle. So base is now 1.7, height is 0.6, divided by 2, you get 0 point, like a long number. You don't have to round it yet, you just, whatever number is on a calculator, just keep that number and multiply it by the length to find the volume of the prism. So this is the area of a triangle, and then keep that number on it and then times it by 2.5, which is the length, and that will give you the volume of the prism. Okay, so now you can round your number. So answer, which is 1.3 meters cubed. So this is the volume of the triangular prism. Okay, question 22. We have shape L on the grid, and looks like it's a translation question because we've got some vectors there. So vectors are written like one number under the other. So the top number shows how it moves on the x-axis and the bottom number how it moves on the y-axis. So P and Q are translation vectors. So P moves 3 squares right and 5 squares down, and the Q 1.5 squares right and 2 squares up. But we need to multiply Q by 2 because we'll have to show translation P plus 2Q. So 2Q means just multiply numbers in Q, double. You get 3 and 4. And then you need to add P and plus 2Q. So add P numbers for vector P and vector for Q. Just add the top numbers together and the bottom numbers together, and you will get a new vector. And this is how we're gonna move that shape by that vector. Okay, just pick any point on your shape. I'm just picking the bottom corner, and I'm moving it 6 squares right and 1 square down because the vector was 6 and minus 1. Okay, so I'm just rubbed the lines off so you can see, and then I just draw the rest of the shape as you see it on the screen. So 2 squares, 3 squares up, 2 and down. So you still have the same L shape. You just like it slides to the right. Okay, and just put B on it. It says we need to label it. So here you go, we've done it. Okay, part B, triangle C has vertices with coordinates. We've got coordinates there for each vertex. We just double check that. That's 6 and 0. That's 4 and 3. That's 6 and 5. Yeah, 3 vertices, 3 corners. So after single transformation, the vertices of a triangle C are mapped. So we just need to find the other 3. Okay, let's just mark the other 3 coordinates like I'm doing. 3 and 4, 5 and 6, and 0 and 6, and just join them together. So we've got another triangle. So we just need to identify what happened to this triangle. How did it change from one to the other? So we can see it's actually flipped on the other side. Yeah, if you imagine that line which goes across, I'm just drawing that. In the exam, please use the ruler here. And you can see the other triangle is just right on the other side. So this is reflection. So we have reflection here. It looks, you can kind of confuse it with rotation. When the rotation orientation will change, he just flipped to the other side. Okay, so question 23, expand and simplify. So we've got double brackets here, and we have to do 4 multiplications here because there are 4 terms inside. 6 minus 6, x minus 6, 7x, and 5. So we're doing 4 different multiplications. So we can use FOIL method. It's got first with the first one multiply, first term with the last one, the middle ones, inner ones, and outer ones. So just do 4 multiplications here. So x times 7x will give you 7x squared. And then you do x times 5 is 5x. And then you do that middle top, minus 6. Always put the negative sign if you see it in front of the term. Minus 6 times 5 minus 30. And then you do minus, you've done 4 of them. So now just put them all together. So the first term is 7x squared. Then you have positive 5x, put 5 plus 5x. Then you have negative 42x, and then you have negative 30. Right, so these 2 in the middle can be simplified. We can actually add them. When you add them, because they are both x's, we can add the numbers at the front. We take away actually here, not add. 5 minus 42. So 5 minus 42 give you minus 37x. Put x there. And the other terms, just put them all in order. So only 2 middle ones will be simplified. So why can't we add 7x squared and x? Because they are in different powers. We can't add x's in different powers. They have to be in the same powers. Okay, so and the last question is factorize. Is it the last one? Factorize. So factorize means we have to put brackets in there and find the common factors and put it outside of the bracket.